You can run, but you can't hide. Can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. Can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide.
Yo, hey, welcome to the Top of the Key podcast. You know Freddie's running the ones and twos if the things get cut off that quick. How y'all feeling tonight? I got my man Freddie, Freddie Facts, Freddie Fingers. I got my black Mamba body armor, just in honor of Freddie being on the show. And we got listen, I'll tell you something right now before Freddie introduced himself. Brett Gardepy, I know I said it wrong. One of the most knowledgeable basketball minds you will talk to. It's only a shame he's a Milwaukee Bucks fan, but he's a great, great analyst. So we're lucky to have Brett join with us tonight. Brett and Freddie, how y'all feeling tonight? Freddie, start us off.
Man, I'm wonderful. Anytime I can be on the show with Gene, where I can come on. I love to educate him. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I don't love educating nobody more than this guy right here. Especially because, hey, he's a genius when it comes to the NFL. I feel like I can educate him when it comes to the NBA. Brett here, I'm not too happy to see him today. He did beat my Lakers last night, even though it was a competitive game. But hey, what's up, Brett? How are you guys going on tonight?
Doing great. How doing tonight?
Dude, I'm phenomenal. I don't know if we're live on. Oh, there we go. We're live on YouTube. There it is. I didn't see it on your Facebook page, Freddie. But we are live on YouTube, and we're recorded for Spotify, Apple Podcast, and iHeartRadio. So we got a lot to get into tonight. Freddie talking about educating me in basketball. Listen, just because it's not as much as
No, the two-pack.
Oh, Marcus the Magic. How you feeling, Marcus? Marcus, what's up, buddy?
Gene, what's going on, brother? Freddie, how you feeling? And Brett, what's good?
What's going on, Marcus?
Good, Marcus.
So, Freddie, just because it's not as big as a landslide as it is with football, does not mean that I am not a more knowledgeable basketball fan than you are. And just because you're a very delusional Lakers fan does not mean that the NBA world is owned by you. You can tell me all the rumored trades that are going on with the Lakers, but most of them don't happen. But that's where we're going to start off tonight. We're going to start off at the trade deadline. And before I pass to Freddie, because I'm going to let you start off, I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm going to give the Los Angeles Lakers some credit. That trade that they pulled off for D'Angelo Russell, and then to get Mo Bamba in there in the middle, it was great work. You talk a lot of crap about Rob Pelinka, but he came through with very little assets. He came to the table with not many ingredients, but he left the table with a way better shooter and a star player in D'Angelo Russell. What's up, Coach Dante? How you feeling tonight?
What's good, man? How y'all doing? How y'all fellas doing?
Phenomenal. But Freddie, start us off.
Let
us know how the Lakers,
good, bro. Freddie.
Let us know how the Lakers trade deadline went down for you, and then we'll go over the rest of the league because I do believe that D'Lo will add a lot to the Los Angeles Lakers. See, this is what happens. You give Freddie credit, and then he go and freeze. Like his microphone don't be working. He frozen because you gave him credit. Can't give him credit. Freddie moving around. Look, I guess it's because the Lakers are still a 13 seed. So his internet don't be working when they're still in the bottom of the NBA standings.
Can
Coach,
you
why
hear
don't you
me?
start? Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead, Freddie. Tell us about the Lakers.
Listen here. It was about doggone time Rob Pelinka did something. I mean, we've been waiting for him to make a move. We've been waiting for him to do something as a general manager. We know that they messed up with the Russell Westbrook trade. We know they could have had Buddy Hield instead, but they chose to go Russell Westbrook. In the last 2 years, it has just been horrible. Um, I'm just gonna say this here. Russ has what I'm just going by what it has been reported that he's been they described it as a vampire in the locker room, sucking blood out of that team. We've seen the altercation on the sideline on the last game on the celebration game because Darvin Ham wanted him in the second quarter. When halftime, it was going back and forth. So yeah, I think they said Darvin Ham was very influential in these trades. So I believe he said, you know what, I've had enough. Because Darvin Ham was a guy that he's intended to work with us all year long. For him coming off the bench, but for some reason it just did not work. But the Lakers and Rob Pelinka, gotta give them credit. They was able to remove the cancer out the locker room, away from this franchise. And you're talking about, like Gene said, they really didn't get much, but they was able to get quality pieces back. Not just of D'Angelo Russell, but of Malik Beasley, who in the last 2 years have knocked down the most threes. The third most threes. You have Steph Curry, number one, Buddy Hield, number two, and Malik Beasley. Malik Beasley shoot 36% from three. But gentlemen, remember, he's a volume shooter. He attempts 9 threes a game. Then you add Vanderbilt into this trade as well, who to me is a very underrated pickup because he's a forward who plays defense, who also adds size and add more versatility to this team as well. But he's also on the rebounding aspect. The Lakers is not a good offensive rebounding team. He's a guy that can help on that side of the ball, help rebounding. And yes, D'Angelo Russell. This is the second time here in LA. If you guys heard his press conference today, he said he's a grown man. He's not a kid. He's more mature now. One of his big thing is pick and roll. And I believe if you can run the pick and roll with him and Rudy Gobert, the pick and roll should be great with him and Anthony Davis. He's a guy that can create his own shot. He's a guy that can do catch and shoot. A guy when LeBron is off on the bench that he can kind of help orchestrate your offense. It's definitely a great move for the Lakers. But it's going to be tough, even though I'm a Laker fan, I have to be honest. These last 25, how many games left in the season, they're going to have to be dang near perfect to go on a run. I don't like to play in. The play-in is very scary to me because anything can happen on any night. So to me, I think they, a team goal or we could go 20-10. I believe they need to go something like that so they can at least get in that 6 seed range so they can avoid the play-in. I'm not going to say it's over, but we've seen crazy things in the NBA.
Okay. Well, Brett, why don't you enlighten us a little bit about the Lakers trade deadline from a non-homer perspective?
I actually also thought it was fantastic. I think one of the biggest that they could have made actually was Malik Beasley. I saw an interesting stat too with him. Malik Beasley off screening action shoots 39% this year from three. The best Laker before the trade shot 26% off screening actions from three. So the fact that somebody that you can actually run plays for off ball screens, you can actually run off ball action for to get easy looks for the offense, huge. D'Angelo Russell, he actually looked really good with Rudy Gobert out there, and he had his best year with Jared Allen, so I really don't doubt that him and Anthony Davis are going to have some killer chemistry. And, of course, the third but not forgotten piece of that trade, Jared Vanderbilt. Very good defensive player. He's also a very good slasher. He's a very intelligent slasher. He's not going to take over games on the offensive end, but he's a very disruptive defensive piece, so overall, it was a fantastic trade, and I do like the fact they also went out and got Mo Bamba. He's an awesome project. He's shown signs of having a three-point touch. So overall, I think the Lakers have very productive and a very great trade deadline.
So Brett, I tend to agree with you. I think the biggest thing D'Lo adds to that team is his above average passing ability. Coach Dante, like, tell him what time it is.
Yeah, definitely. So my favorite player in this trade that the Lakers got was Jared Vanderbilt. See, when I look at a trade, I look at who you lost in the trade. And when I look at who Minnesota lost when they got them first round picks, when they got Rudy Gobert, I look at the loss of Jared Vanderbilt, who's really important to the team. I look at the loss of Beverly, who was important to that team at that time. Look at the loss of Malik Beasley, who was important to that team at that time, that same playoff team who was important. Jared Vanderbilt is a guy that can guard 1 through 5, guard probably 1 through 5. You can put him in a small ball lineup. He definitely can get to double-digit rebounds. He definitely impacts the floor on the defensive side of the ball. And Malik Beasley is an instant offense coming off the bench, instant shooter coming off the bench. I do think the Lakers got better. D'Lo now is younger and mature. They didn't want him in Minnesota. There was plenty of rumors that they didn't want him in Minnesota. They were ready to get rid of him in Minnesota. They were tired of him in Minnesota. Now maybe coming back to LA, not being a kid again, being more mature. Now seeing him being shipped all over the league, maybe this give him new blood of life right here. But in a Western Conference where it's tough, I think it's still tough. I don't know if it's going to move the needle too much for me at all, but they definitely got better. They definitely got some shooting on this team, but they're still going to be tough. They're still going to be tough. They got some guys that can. Jared Vanderbilt is going to help them on the defensive side of the basketball as well, and help them on the rebounding side. So that's one thing they got to get cleaned up on that defensive side of the basketball and stop giving up so many threes and stop allowing penetration on the perimeter. So we're going to see what goes on. But they definitely got better.
100%. I agree with almost everything that you just said. Marcus, we're about to go right to you. One of the things that Coach, I just think that to be able to have shooters, well, Malik Beasley and D'Lo can still shoot the ball way better than Russell Westbrook can. Be able to have screen and roll action, to be able to have Jared Vanderbilt that adds defense to that team, Mo Bamba who adds size and defense to that team. Like, I feel like the Lakers have the 5th or 6th best roster in the Western Conference now, whereas before I felt like they were not. I thought they were 10th, 11th best roster. They've improved their team significantly, and I believe that they can get into the 6th seed, the 5th seed, avoid that play-in game, and really make some noise come playoff time. Anytime you start a playoff series with LeBron James, Anthony Davis, D'Angelo Russell, Mo Bamba, Jared Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley, and you have all those pieces around you, you have an opportunity to win series. Marcus, tell us how you felt like the Lakers did this trade deadline. And where do you see them as far as the West goes?
Well, I'm going to disagree with all three of y'all.
Okay.
For the simple fact is, okay, the roster they had previous, anything they picked up this trade deadline would make the old roster look like it's a major improvement. Now, if this was 2016 LeBron, I say this would be an A+ trade. But by LeBron being in his 20th season, and you don't know if AD is going to stay healthy enough to even try to fight for the play-in, it's a C+ move. Like D'Angelo Russell, I mean, he comes and goes. It's not like he's a streaky shooter or he's somebody you can depend on for the 3-ball constantly. You can still question his decision-making as a point guard from time to time. The Mo Bamba pick, I don't know necessarily where he is, even though I have watched Orlando games. You don't know what he's going to give you because he doesn't really play consistent minutes to be like, okay, can we rely on him on like 25 to 30 minutes a game? Malik Beasley, I can see, him being a nice little shooter to compliment LeBron, if he's in there. But like if this was 2016 LeBron opposed to 2023 LeBron, I say this is a good move for the Lakers, but it's not.
You know the problem though, which you're saying, Marcus. LeBron James at the 20th season or 2023, LeBron James is averaging 30 points a game. He ain't no slouch. So I don't you can picture what he did in 2016 or 2017, but he's averaging more points a game now than he did then.
Yeah, but he's able to carry a team then opposed now because those 30 points that he was getting in 2016 carried you to wins. These 30 points he's getting now is carrying you to a lot of L's. And dare I say, like even with him going for 30 right now, and then let's say AD gets back on track to go for 20, that's still only 55 to 60 points between them two. That's not really going to carry you to a win. D'Angelo Russell's not a world beater, when it comes to
Right.
is he an upgrade from Westbrook? I guess.
What?
Is
You
Mo Bamba
guess.
upgrade?
What do you mean
from-
you guess?
Is Mo
There-
Bamba
there ain't no
upgrade
guess on that one.
from Thomas? Is Mo Bamba upgrade from Thomas Bryant? We don't know. So let's just say
Yes.
AD goes down for another 5-6 games. Can you depend on
Can y'all hear me
Mo
better?
Bamba to give you
Yeah.
offense and stuff like that? So I don't really see how this trade really does the Lakers any good considering the facts that's around it. But I give it a C+.
I completely disagree with you, Freddie. You can go right next, and then we'll move on after this. But I completely disagree with you, Marcus. I think that they have a rotational pieces that even if AD is hurt, you can start Mo Bamba and Jared Vanderbilt at the 4 and the 5. You have Malik Beasley, D'Angelo Russell, LeBron James that can start at the 1, 2, 3. They have depth that they didn't have before. They have shooters that they didn't have before. I actually cannot believe Rob Pelinka pulled this off to make the Lakers a top 5 or 6 roster.
But they're not a top 5 or 6 roster, and just because you made certain adjustments doesn't mean. Okay, if I drive a Chrysler, but then I drive a Chrysler 300 base model, but then I upgrade to an S model, all I really did was change my seats and my radio. That doesn't mean it's going to drive me or give me any faster.
Can y'all hear me
than we
better?
have.
Yes.
So therefore, I don't see this being a big deal. I don't get it.
Go ahead, Freddie.
Marcus, I done heard all your dribble. I don't want to hear it no more. Listen here, Marcus. You can come in here with all this haterade. You can come with
I'm not
all this
hating,
you
though.
want to, brother. It's not going on with you. You
See,
are
y'all so
bro.
happy that y'all got
You
somebody
are.
other
To
than
say,
Westbrook.
oh,
but y'all get some good
no,
trade.
to say it's
C+.
no, to say it's D'Angelo Russell to really upgrade from Russell Westbrook, bro. Let me tell you how bad Russell Westbrook is. There was at times where Russell West, and this is going to kind of explain why LeBron James 30 points wasn't as effective. Is because a lot of times when Russ was on the court with LeBron, the offense got stagnant. That people were standing around. He was basically on the 3-point line, standing there, becoming a spot-up shooter, which Russell Westbrook isn't. Listen, man, D'Angelo Russell is a shooter. Malik Beasley is a shooter. What does that do? It's space out the flooring. So guess what? It's going to make it easier on LeBron James. It's going to make it easier on Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis won't have to be double teamed in the post anymore. Because guess what? You double team him, he kick it out to D'Angelo, bang. You double team him, he kick it out to Malik Beasley, bang. Because it makes it a lot easier. Why is LeBron James shooting horrible from 3-point line this year? It's because guess what? Guys know what? We can leave Russ open. We don't have to respect him. We can load up on LeBron. He is so the floor is they're creating more space on the floor for these guys. I'm not saying that they're going to be a Western Conference championship team. I'm not going to say they're going to the finals, but this makes them better. This at least is a trade that puts them in the playoffs. And I believe a healthy LeBron James, a healthy Anthony Davis, which with the right pieces around them, when at the right time, it could be dangerous. Because let's just be honest. Let's say they get to the 6th seed and they play Sacramento. I can see the Lakers beating Sacramento. And then, it just goes on from there. Because, like I said, like we've heard LeBron say, you give him an opportunity. I believe with the right guys around me, that we will have a chance. That's all that the Lakers can ask for is have an opportunity, especially how bad they play in the first 50 games of the season.
I just don't understand how Marcus can sit here with a straight face and say they don't have a top 6 roster anymore. I think the difference between 2016 and 2022, LeBron James is one thing, and it's defense. He is completely given up on playing defense since he joined the Los Angeles Lakers. He plays air defense. He literally like watches the game most of the game as opposed to sticking somebody. I think that's his biggest issue. But as a whole, and the only argument I see against the trade is that the Lakers gave up their 2 biggest energy guys, Pat Bev and Russell Westbrook, who bring energy. But Jared Vanderbilt brings that same energy, which is great to Coach's point earlier. So I really believe this is a great trade for the Lakers, and I think the floor spacing will prove that. However, that was the appetizer.
One last thing.
No. The appetizer. It's the appetizer. We got to move on to the main event, bro. The real trade.
Hold on, one last thing.
No. It's not Lakers show. You can talk about this on the Lakers show. You asked me to moderate, I'm going to moderate.
Go.
The main event of the trade deadline was none other than Kevin Durant getting moved from the Brooklyn Nets to the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns now form a roster of Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton. They're stacked. Can y'all tell me that now I'll start with Brett here because we heard a lot of Freddie. Start with Brett here. Can you tell me a better roster in the Western Conference? And are the Phoenix Suns not the team to beat going forward?
Yeah, and they are. I think they, at this point, have this roster, and that's the only thing that can stop is the injury bug. If Chris Paul and KD one of them go down, or Booker, they don't really have the depth to cover up for that. But they easily are the team to beat. So I would agree. Definitely agree with that.
Coach, tell me if the Phoenix Suns are the team to beat in the Western Conference. Do you think Chris Paul's got enough in the tank?
I think he's declined a little bit. I still think he can shoot in certain spurts, but will I trust him to be the team to beat? I don't know if I could trust him at all. I've seen it too many times. We've seen it too many times that you can't trust him when you need in a big series. But Kevin Durant, adding Kevin Durant is a big key to their championship puzzle. If they don't get injured, if Devin Booker can stay healthy and Chris Paul can find a way to stay healthy, and Kevin Durant, if they all up on the floor and DeAndre Ayton can play the way you expect them to really play, I don't see why they can't get to the NBA Finals. I don't see why they can't beat a team like the Warriors. I don't see right now the West is so boggled up right now. You don't have a clear indication who's the actually you can go by Denver right now as of right now is the best team in the West as of right now because you haven't seen Kevin Durant them yet. You haven't seen Kevin Durant play yet. You just got Devin Booker back. So right now Denver is the best team in the West. But I think they got the tools to beat the Denver Nuggets if they can stay healthy and on the floor. I think they got the tools. But would I trust them? I would not trust them. I would not trust them at all.
So, Coach, the question that I really would ask you is, who is your pick to come out of Western Conference after that trade? Is it not Phoenix?
I don't think it's. I'm not trusting Phoenix. I'm gonna have to go with Denver as of right now. I think they're the best team in the West right now. I think they're the best team in the West. Okay. I gotta see Kevin Durant. I gotta see Kevin Durant play with these guys.
Well, the true host of this show has joined us. The cool McCain, that good looking man rocking that Eagles hat. I'm loving it. Cool. Let me ask you a question. Being a Denver Nuggets fan, and welcome to the show, obviously.
Appreciate it.
Are the Denver Nuggets still the team to beat? Are the Phoenix Suns the team to beat? The defending champion Golden State Warriors? Who's the team to beat in the Western Conference? Who is your pick to come out of that? No homer. I want you to tell me, unbiased, who your pick is to come out of Western Conference.
So there's two different answers to that question.
Mike, volume.
Oh, my mic?
It's very low.
Got you. Hold on 1 second.
You sound too good. We want to hear your voice. We all love listening to your voice, my friend.
I just got to put it up a little bit. My bad, y'all.
Why you pulling that mic up, Marcus? Are the Suns the team to beat in the Western Conference?
Not at
Tell
all.
me. Speak on it.
Well, first of all, you already know how I feel about KD. Like, I think Phoenix went into rebuild mode now they got KD. I don't like the guy. I don't think he's done nothing outside of Golden State to make you think that just because you traded for the guy that you actually want to be title contenders. And the fact that Phoenix went from like 18 something, wherever they was, like 8th place to win the title all the way up to 1 just by trading for KD. You have no depth. Chris Paul is on a decline. Can you really trust DeAndre Ayton to really do something for you? And Booker, he's dealing with a hamstring or a growing injury. I'm not for sure which one he's dealing with. But if it's a growing injury, them things, they can linger. You know, I don't see KD hauling a big load by himself trying to push them out the West. And right now, where they sitting? They sitting 4th or 5th in the West?
They're 6th right now.
6th in the West?
Yes, sir.
So they probably wind up staying there. So they'll wind up playing whoever 3rd in the West, which is Memphis, or is it the Pelicans?
Well,
Memphis, right?
Standings. Memphis is 2nd.
Okay, so it's the Pelicans that's 3rd.
No. Western Conference is Denver, Memphis, Sacramento, Dallas, the Los Angeles Clippers, Phoenix, New Orleans, Minnesota, Golden State, Portland. Freddie, don't worry, they're coming. Utah, Oklahoma City. Oh, and then the Lakers.
Okay, so they'll beat Sacramento in the first round if it stays the way it is. They'll beat Sacramento. Outside of that, they're not getting second round with that team currently constructed.
Completely disagree. Is it my turn? I want to turn on this. I really do. Freddie,
I don't like the fact that every trade deadline, because one player makes a move, everybody think it's a good trade.
This is the move. Marcus, this is the move. Kevin Durant's top 5 player in the NBA. You added him to a roster without giving up any of your top 3 players. Chris Paul, Kevin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton are still on that roster. They didn't give up one of their top 3 players.
I would choose
easy money.
I would choose Dallas over Phoenix over the trade that won the trade.
So you think Kyrie Irving's a better player than Kevin Durant?
I think he's a better fit for Luka and what he's going to accomplish than what Phoenix is doing with Kevin Durant. I mean, I know you want to go by the name and everything, but
not the name,
go
bro.
for it.
Not the name.
Because if that's the case, you can go back to the Lakers. You go back to the Lakers actually having the best trade deadline. I mean, trade deadline. That's the case. Because Phoenix ain't really get much in a sense.
You out of your mind, Freddie.
Nah, that's serious. I just like I don't put my stock into Kevin Durant like most people do.
I need some sanity.
State is the
Freddie,
same
I need some sanity. Marcus is going off the rails again, Freddie.
Listen, he hasn't shown nothing to be like, okay, this was a good move, but you take probably you want to take it. That's your opinion. Go for it.
Listen,
and we all
listen here, and I hate to be this guy. I gotta ask a question: when it's all done and said, will this be thought about Kevin Durant that you had to join somebody else's ship to win the chip? I mean, come on, KD, bro. You too good for this, bro. Like, you're going to regret the day that you left Golden State. That's facts. You know, this team isn't winning a championship. Let's just be honest. Gene, they lost too much. They lost way too much. You lost your best defender in Mikal Bridges. Bro, who's playing defense on this team? Who? And let's not forget, they have a DeAndre Ayton problem. That problem hasn't just went away. It's going to get worse, matter of fact, because you're talking about a guy. He's not going to get the same touches that he normally gets. Because guess what? Those shots that you normally get, Aiden, those shots are going to Kevin Durant now. So are you okay with just being a traditional big man now, just getting rebounds and blocking shots? DeAndre Ayton, he wants his touches. So adding Kevin Durant, you're not going to get those same touches as you did before. They have no depth. They lost their depth. Cam Johnson was a big piece of this team. He's a guy that can score the ball. You lost it. You lost your best defender. They screwed up the Jay Crowder from the beginning, and they are one injury away from one bad hamstring from Chris Paul, one bad hamstring with DeAndre Booker, who's been dealing with that this year. We all know Kevin Durant has turned into the new version of street clothes Anthony Davis in the last couple of years. They are one injury away for that team to be a hot mess in the West. I'm not buying it.
Am I the only one here? Am I the only one here that feels like that this lineup is too good? Freddie's talking about depth. Y'all forget they got CP3 and they got CP15. Don't forget Cam Payne is on that team. Yes, that's why I said it. Cam, TJ Warren also got moved. You look at for you want. TJ Warren also got moved. This is an NBA player. Torrey Craig is on that roster. Bismarck Biyombo is a backup center for them. I don't care what you're saying as far as their depth. When you have starters like Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and DeAndre Ayton, role players just follow. Can I ask you a question, Freddie? Did the 2011-2012 Miami Heat not win a championship?
Correct.
Okay, so can you break down the depth that they had on that roster behind LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh?
The difference is, Gene, is that this isn't Chris Paul 4 or 5 years ago. This is a Chris Paul that is on a decline, brother. I mean, it's facts. This is the same Chris Paul that a few weeks ago that they came out. They're looking to upgrade him this upcoming season. Matter of fact, they attempt to trade him for Kyrie Irving because they know he's older, that he's on a decline.
Listen, Chris Paul is still a floor general, and if you don't ask him to do that much as far as scoring goes, and he can distribute the basketball, you give him less minutes. He doesn't have to distribute the entire game. He can give you 25 to 27 a night instead of 32. I'm telling you right now, it's still the point guard. The point guard is still on that team.
So where does the defense come from, Jimmy? Where does the defense come from?
Defense comes from Chris Paul's number 4 all time in steals, is he not?
No. That's all time, brother. We talking about when he's in his prime.
He can still
Where
play
did the defense come from?
DeAndre Ayton still plays
Chris
defense.
Paul.
Cameron Payne still plays defense.
Devin Booker.
TJ Warren plays defense.
Let me ask you, and TJ Warren is funny you bring him up, brother. We really haven't seen him play since the bubble. So I don't care about him. He's irrelevant to the conversation. And you still haven't addressed the DeAndre Ayton issue, like I said that they have, because let's not forget that's the issue that him and the coach have been dealing with since last year.
DeAndre Ayton's been playing like an all-star this year, man. I think did he just get added as one of the 3 reserves or no?
But what I'm saying is, Gene, what I'm saying is, brothers, that his touches are about to go away because you added a Kevin Durant. How do you think that's going to affect him?
I think he'll be fine. I think you are, if you're a team player, you play for the greater good of the team, and you just added a top 5 player in the league to a roster that's already top 6 already before having them. Cool. Help me out here, man. Are you all against this team? Is it because you're Lakers fans and you're not? Is it because of that? Like, help me out. Don't be a Nuggets fan. Be an NBA fan. This roster is better.
So I want to answer the earlier question. I had to get the mic situation sorted out. But so there's 2 answers to that first question. There's who's the best now and who do I think is going to win. I think Denver's going to win because I think Denver has what it takes to beat any team in a series.
Okay.
They have pieces that were missing prior to this year and pieces that were added to make this team battle tested for the playoffs. I'm not concerned with being number 1 right now. It's great, but if we're not number 1 by the end of the season, who cares? That just means you got to play one more game on the road.
Fair point.
If you spank them in 4 games, it doesn't matter. 2 at home, 2 at the road, it doesn't matter. So, who I think is the best right now, if you look on paper, there's 2 teams that come to mind, and Denver's not either one of those teams. That's going to be Phoenix because of the move for Kevin Durant, and the Memphis Grizzlies, right? And a third wild card, if their team is completely healthy, is the New Orleans Pelicans, who were playing at the same level with us until the Zion Williamson injury. Be real as can be. So there are other teams that you can consider the best team in the West right now. But whether they're 1, whether they're 2, whether they're 3, you're going to have to go out and beat Denver 4 times in a series to come out of the Western Conference. Can it be done? Absolutely. I think now moving to the whole situation with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant has showed that he can't stay healthy for a full season himself, right? So you add that to the fact that Devin Booker doesn't stay healthy. And I don't know if anyone else has said this because, I had to reboot, but Devin Booker can't stay healthy himself. And Chris Paul is definitely on the decline. And, I feel like he's overrated. So when you add those 3 together, and I'll say this, as far as DeAndre Ayton goes, I don't put him in the same breath as those 3 gentlemen, right? Even though I think Chris Paul's overrated a little bit, I still think he's in a different stratosphere than I ever see DeAndre Ayton getting to, because he's too up and down. He's good in one series. He disappears in this game. He plays well here. He plays okay here. You have to be consistent. So I think what you're going to see from the Phoenix Suns is, if everyone stays healthy, you're going to see one basketball for 3 guys that love to dominate the ball. You can say Chris Paul will step back and say, okay, I'm a little bit older, to Freddie's point. I'm not the same player I was 4 or 5 years ago, so I'll give up the rock sometimes, right? Also, when you get a little bit older, you can't move like you used to back in the day. Your defense is going to decline. There's nobody that plays great defense at the end of their career as good as they did at the beginning or the peak of their career. I think with DeAndre Ayton, he's another guy. He started to look like, not DeAndre Ayton. Devin Booker is another guy that started to look like he's not going to go through a lot of seasons healthy. Obviously, he's still at the point where he can turn it around. But that's what you're seeing from that team. So will Phoenix be a threat? They absolutely will, because they have enough talent, like you said, left on the team that they'll be a threat. But I think the biggest thing is kind of what Coach Dante said earlier. We got to see them play together. We need to see 10, 15 games of what the roster is now together to see what we have. But I do want to throw one shot in. I do know one team who did not get better at the trade deadline, and that's the Dallas Mavericks.
I appreciate the shot. We're going to talk about Kyrie in a second. Brett, you were talking
you said
about
they
it.
get better?
Did not.
Did not. I disagree with him, but we're going to talk about Kyrie next. Brett, do you want to have any final points? I know you restarted a couple of times on the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, the only thing I really disagreed with a little bit is we're worried about the defense of Phoenix. Chris Paul has slipped a little bit, but he's still a good defender. He's not where he was in his prime, but he's still a good defender. Devin Booker's graded out as a positive defender. Kevin Durant's a positive defender. DeAndre Ayton's been a positive defender. We got a starting lineup of guys that can score and defend, so I'm not sure why we're even talking about the Phoenix Suns' potential defense here. Like, that team, if they stay healthy, and that's my only question mark with them, is health, then they're going to be an absolute force, and I think them along with Denver, those two are going to be the teams to beat coming out of the West. And the only issue I really have with Denver is rim protection, but I agree with Cool. I do think that, along with Phoenix, that they're also one of the top teams to beat out there.
Brett, I love it, man. I agree on everything you said. I think the Phoenix Suns come out of the West. I'll be on record tonight saying I think the Suns.
I just want to say,
Freddie would his poor internet always be interrupting him when he try to be adding an extra point. Yeah, Freddie, try to add your point.
Oh, he's
Freeze! Everybody, clap your hands. We got to talk about one more move of the trade deadline before we get into winners and losers. Kyrie Irving was traded to the Dallas Mavericks, and in his first game there, he put on the happy face. He went in there and he played his ass off. But anybody that's followed Kyrie Irving throughout his career understands the honeymoon does not last too long. For two absolutely ball dominant players between him and Luka, can it work? Will it work? How long will it work? Freddie, yeah, you can start us off on this one because it looked like your internet caught up to you.
Listen, I think this team will be better than Phoenix. I think they can beat Phoenix. Something about Dallas, they have Phoenix's number. Something about Luka, he has Phoenix's number. And you tell me somebody on the Phoenix Suns who's gonna guard Luka. I can't wait for that matchup. I believe Luka will come out there and bust some behinds. And you mean to add a Kyrie Irving as a sidekick, a guy that we know that you can give the ball to. He can dance on you, hit the mid-range. He can get you on the inside. He can get you on three. Let's not forget, Kyrie's not a problem talent-wise. Let's not get that slipping. It's never talent. We all know what Kyrie Irving brings to the table talent-wise. He's off the court with Kyrie. But if he's balled in, they still. I love the fact they're still able to keep Tim Hardaway Jr. They still have Christian Wood. They have still JaVale McGee, still Powell, Kleber, and those guys. They do need to try to get a wing in this buyout market. They definitely look at that, because they do need to find some defense. Because you're talking about a team that don't have a lick of defense, is Dallas Mavericks. But I believe that their offense can be so potent that it can kind of help their defense in a way. Because I don't see nobody on the Phoenix that's going to be able to keep a scoring with Dallas. I'm just being
so
honest.
Disrespectful. You are so disrespectful. You want to talk about Luka? Luka has the Phoenix Suns number. Well, the Phoenix Suns just added easy money sniper.
He do.
A top 5 player in the NBA. Are y'all out your fucking mind?
So what, G? I don't like that.
As a moderator,
I don't like
a whole lot to say as a moderator. A whole lot to say. And
a lot to say.
You have no bias when it comes to Kevin Durant, it seems like. Because that move that Dallas just made, they pretty much upgraded Jalen Brunson to Kyrie Irving, and they went to the Western Conference Finals last year. And I think everybody can agree that Kyrie Irving is way better than Jalen Brunson.
Can I jump in? Can I jump in at this particular moment right here?
Yes, sir.
When you talk about a player, it's what he does off the field, in the locker room, what he does to help his team and what he does to hurt his team. Kyrie is a freaking cancer. Don't try to overlook the fact that Kyrie Irving is a cancer, and that's why everywhere he goes, he leaves. He loves you to the first day. By the second week, he's in the back room, breaking up the team, breaking up the chemistry, being a fool that he is.
And here's the thing.
Jalen Brunson is not a fool. Jalen Brunson goes in and plays and does his position.
As much as you say all that, the thing to your point, though, right now is they only got Kyrie for the rest of the season. So he can go and be a cancer or he can make it work. However he does it for the rest of the season, he's there.
But that's what we're talking about.
That's what I'm saying.
The rest of the season.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
He is going to show himself to be who Kyrie has been at every stop. He is a fool who does not want to play basketball. He wants a new contract where he plays 57 games out of an 82-game season. This is the guy that we're going to sit here and talk about is going to make a difference with Luka Doncic, who be cussing himself and everybody else out probably behind the scenes because he cusses himself out when he leave the court. If he doesn't have the ball in his hands for 5 plays in a row, he look like he want to cry and fight somebody. And this is the guy we're going to put with Kyrie the fool. Come on, y'all.
Maybe,
this is going to make it better.
Not, but we don't know yet because they haven't played together.
History is history.
Hold on. We have to be accurate here. At the end is that
hold on, Marcus. No, Marcus.
Hold on. Let me finish my point.
Marcus,
because y'all taking it one way with him off the court, and then the way he plays on the court is totally different. Now, like I was saying, you upgraded Brunson for Kyrie. Now, if he finish out the way he's supposed to finish it out, it's going to be a good match. Phoenix and Dallas, and we all know that Dallas got Phoenix number. So I can see Dallas coming out the West. Playing the simple.
Played it out like he was supposed to play it out.
Hold on.
He wouldn't be in Dallas.
I want to rebut on Cool.
What are you talking about?
Cool. Hold on, brother. We got to be fair. This year, Kyrie Irving proven that he can be dependent on just this year. Hey, we talking about last year? I agree. But this year, he's been bought in. He's been bought.
Quit on the team.
He quit on the team. That's
a week ago.
Somebody you want to trust?
Not this year.
He just
he came out and said,
he asked for a 4 year. He asked for a 4 year, $98 million contract, and when he didn't get the contract, he asked for a trade. The very next day, he asked for a trade when he didn't get the money that he wanted.
Blaming on the organization, coach.
He ran away from the organization literally after he didn't get the money. After they said
So
no,
now here's what I would say to that
hey,
though,
he
because
literally got away from the money.
Coach,
Really ran.
he blamed it
because
on
what
the
I would say to
organization.
that,
Yes,
because
he
he
blamed it on the
asked for
organization because they didn't want to
He
pay him
did.
because he's not always on the floor. He quits anytime he gets ready to. He quits.
but my thing is with that
Can
though,
you-
he could have
can
just
you-
said,
hey,
"Hey, I'll
listen,
play out the rest of the
time out.
season, and y'all get nothing for me." He actually demanded the trade. Listen, we ain't
Can you
gonna come to
blame the
attention.
guy?
He gave
Hold
you
on, Marcus.
time
Hold
to
on.
make a trade and
Marcus,
get
hold on.
something for
Can
him
you
or the
blame
ball.
the guy? You blame the guy. He's negotiating with a team, and they tell him no, and he see other teams say, "Yeah, we're willing to pay you this." Of course, you're going to
Of
want
course.
out. That's what the situation.
Exactly.
But other than that,
left
this
after
year,
this
Kyrie
season.
Irving's been dependable on the basketball court, and he's been playing elite basketball.
Freddie, so can I ask you just a quick couple
Now, the
questions?
previous years, I agree.
Was money the issue, Freddie? Was money the issue in Cleveland when he asked to get away from LeBron James?
You could chalk it up to
Money
being
the
young.
issue in
No,
Boston
Gene, I
when they
agree
offered him a
with you.
supermax extension? Money is not the issue. That man is a cancer.
I
Coach,
agree with
please-
stuff. I'm
please
talking
fill
about
these people in, coach.
this
I
year
gotta
right
let
now.
other people talk besides Freddie and Marcus.
I mean, like I say again, like the history known for Kyrie Irving. He went away from Cleveland. He even said he was going to get foot surgery not to play with Cleveland. He gets up out of there. Cleveland is back in the NBA Finals. LeBron carried him back to the NBA Finals. He goes to Boston and literally lied to the fans and said that he wanted to be there. They shipped him out the very next year after he played like garbage, even in the playoffs, and even blamed it on his teammates. Where were they bury at next year? Where were they at without Kyrie Irving when he got injured? They were in the Western Conference Finals. Where were they at last year? They were in the NBA Finals. So literally every team he leaves, they get better. They get better immediately. So Kyrie, we can't deny that Kyrie Irving is not a cancer in the locker room. He definitely is a cancer in the locker room. And most of the stuff be his fault. When Kyrie Irving don't get his way, he gives up. He quits on the team. He asked for a $198 million contract, and all of a sudden he wants out. After the team was actually playing well. The team is over 500, well over 500. And he just gave up because they said, no, I wouldn't give you no contract either. If I can't trust you to be on the floor, I wouldn't give you that either.
The funny part about that, coach, and then we're going to go right to Brett. The funny part about that is after he left, he blamed the organization for the people in the organization after he just asked for a contract extension. So if you wanted a contract extension,
Which
if you
he
knew the
should,
people in the
Gene.
organization, but he blamed
Which
the
he should,
organization. I wish I knew these people before I came here. I wish I understood the type of people they were before I came here. A week ago, he wanted to sign a long-term extension with them.
To stay with him.
But your boy KD wanted out of there at the beginning of the season.
Gene, hold on, Marcus.
So what
Gene,
is that really
one thing
saying?
that
But he
we
still
can't
played
do-
basketball, though.
one
He
thing that we
didn't
can't
quit
do
on the
is we
team, though.
can't
That's
let
the
the
difference. He didn't quit. He never quit it on the team.
And
He was always-
that's quitting on my team. If you have
Listen,
Yeah,
Gene,
he-
no, hold on,
in
Coach Dante.
the summer,
Hold on,
that's
before.
quitting on
He
your
went to the
Gene's
trade.
wrong. Y'all let Gene off the hook. Listen, Gene, brother, listen. I've been critical of Kyrie Irving for the last couple of years. Ask anybody. Okay, I agree with all that stuff, brother. Brooklyn Nets isn't cleaning this either. They should have nipped this 2 years ago. Instead, they've let this go on. So guess what? You've allowed this problem to be a problem throughout the whole duration of time. Now you want to do the right
Nipped
thing.
in the buck, giving
Now, all
Kyrie
of
an
a sudden,
extension.
now you want to do
Out of
the
your
right thing.
mind?
I'm gonna
But-
let Brett go. I
But,
have
Right,
but at
something
the
to
end of
say.
the day,
But let's let Brett
but
come in
I-
because he
but
has
at the end of the
to
day,
say
except that 1 week out of this whole season, Kyrie Irving has been dependable. Okay, he's on a contract year. He's in
That's not
Dallas. He's
accurate.
happy. If it is accurate, Gene.
God,
How is it not accurate?
it's not. Earlier in the season, he's saying anti-Semitic bullshit. This part of the season, he's quitting on the damn team because he don't get an extension. Kyrie Irving is a problem, bro. He's always been a problem. Brett, your thoughts on Kyrie Irving?
But I'm talking about basketball games.
Oh, he's a
I'm
tremendous
missing
basketball player. No
basketball
one's
games.
arguing that. He's a great basketball player. He quits on teams.
That's
Brett,
what we're talking
So,
about. Him on the basketball court playing basketball.
that's not all
So
it's
I'm gonna
about.
take it-
Go ahead, Brett.
So we covered Kyrie Irving pretty extensively. I'm going to take a different approach as to why I don't think Dallas will make the finals and why I'm not even considering them. In order to run through the gauntlet out of the West, you have to run through now players like Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and bigger wings of that sorts. They traded away Dorian Finney-Smith, leaving Tim Hardaway, Reggie Bullock. They don't have any wing defenders with any size to stop any of these guys. Unless you count Marcus Morris, who the last time he played anything was victim after he cheap-shotted Jokic. Like, they haven't done anything. They don't have anybody with size to guard anybody. That's what's going to kill them. Kyrie has shown he can play with ball-dominant guards and forwards. He's played well with LeBron. He played well with KD when he did play. So it's not the offense that's going to kill them. They don't have any size to match up once you take them out to the wing. What are you going to do? Put Maxi Kleber, your only rim protector, out there? Then it's just free money at the rim. No matter which way you slice it, it's the defense that's going to kill them, and that's why I don't think that this is a finals team.
Brett coming in here spitting facts, brother. I appreciate you, sir.
I didn't
thought
say
I was
finals
on
team.
Coach.
Yeah, I want to add one more thing. Can we ask how Cam Thomas is doing since Kyrie Irving left? Can we see how he's doing since Kyrie Irving left? He dropped 40 points in back-to-back games. Can we ask how he's doing since Kyrie Irving left?
That's cute.
Facts.
That's cute, Coach. That's cute. But we do know we've seen the last couple of years when Dallas played on Phoenix, Luka by himself. It didn't matter if he had Brunson, it didn't matter if he had Dinwiddie, it didn't matter who he had. That was a bad matchup for him. And I just want to know who on Phoenix is going to guard Luka. I just want to know that.
KD.
You can put KD on Luka.
And my thing is, I'm talking about defense. Dallas haven't had defense since Luka got there, basically. So
I'm gonna tell you something right now.
talking
If Phoenix plays Dallas in any playoff series, and KD and Booker and Chris Paul and Ayton are starting in that lineup, I will bet any of y'all any amount of money on that series. Yeah, I'll give you any odds you want. I'll give you 3-1. No chance. But
Bro,
all right, so the next topic on discussion in the trade deadline, I'm telling you, the next topic on the trade deadline train that we've been on is who are the biggest winners and who are the biggest losers of the trade deadline. You can give me one, you can give me two, but don't give me three. I don't want to hear 6 teams. We got 6 of us. Give me 1 or 2 winners, 1 or 2 losers. It could be a player, it could be a team. I don't care what you give me, but don't take a crazy amount of time on it. Freddie, go ahead since you're so hyped.
You want
Every time
losers?
You go.
The biggest loser in my eyes is the Los Angeles Clippers. Why do I say that? I didn't really understand their moves. You trade Luke Kennard to the Memphis Grizzlies. He's younger. I like Luke Kennard. He's a knockdown shooter. Then you bring Eric Gordon. I mean, he can knock it down, but he's an older player. He gives you ability on defense. So I didn't understand that. I didn't like them trading Reggie Jackson for a Mason Plumlee. I understand he brings you size, but you lose that point guard depth. Even though you got the kid out of Denver from Cool's team, but I still don't think he's Reggie Jackson, though, because we've seen Reggie Jackson have had big moments down there for the Clippers. And now you're praying and you're hoping that you can get Russell Westbrook. I hope he comes there so you guys can see that Russell Westbrook is not the guy that y'all really wanted. Basketball gods, please make that happen. The biggest winners, and I'm not going to say this, like I said, I don't think we're going to make it far in the West, but literally turning crumbs into a bag of chips now is the Lakers. I'm going to say that they're the biggest winners out there just because, like I said, they was willing to turn a bunch of crumbs into something and give this team a little bit more spark and give this team another opportunity to make a run.
I think it's hilarious that Freddie is going to consistently.
Can I give another one?
Go ahead.
Oh, I can't. All right, cool. My second biggest winner to me is the Brooklyn Nets. Yeah, we just talked about all the problems with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. What they was able to get for those guys, they got an overhaul. They're still a competitive team. You have Cam Johnson, Spencer Dinwiddie, Smith. You brought in Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson. You still have Ben Simmons. That team is still a good team in the East, a good young team, a good young energy team that you would love, an exciting team that you want to watch, and they have draft capital. Look out for Brooklyn if they wanted to make another run. Maybe you'll get a superstar, another star that's dependable. Hey, keep an eye out for that. I mean, you mean to tell me if you was able to flip Ben some draft picks to Portland this summer, that this team won't be a good team in the East? I'm just saying, keep an eye out on
My
it.
man just said the reason the Brooklyn Nets are a winner is because they still have Ben Simmons, who they try to give away and no one would take. That is amazing to me. I cannot believe this man just stood
I'm
here
not talking
with a
about the
straight
talent,
face.
Gene.
with a
I'm not
straight
talking
face
about the
that
talent.
We still have Ben Simmons. Are you out of your freaking mind? Are you
Gene,
serious?
I'm not talking about because of his talent. Gene,
You
I'm
said
not talking about
they are
because of his
winners
talent, brother.
because they still have a guy
Gene,
that they
listen
try
to me.
give away for nothing. And no one would take him. No one would take him.
I'm not talking about because of talent. No, Gene, you're not just gonna pass me by like that, bro. I'm not talking about because of his talent. No, I'm talking about because he can be a future trade this offseason because of the money.
Hold up. Sorry. So you're telling me that you believe, after being a horrible shooter again for the rest of the season, that any NBA team besides the Oklahoma City Thunder, who all they want is draft picks, would actually trade for Ben Simmons?
I believe if Dame forces his way out this summer, that they can put a trade package with all those picks, Ben Simmons, maybe another piece or something like that, and you can get Dame and you can get it on a team like this with those pieces, that they'll be a dangerous team in the East. Yes.
You trying to trade Ben Simmons
would
for
rather
Damian Lillard?
Let Damian Lillard walk away for nothing than take Ben Simmons. Period.
The draft picks, you
My
guys.
guy.
The draft
I
picks.
can draft with my own pick somebody better than Ben Simmons.
He said
I could go to
Ben Simmons for
I could
Dame
go
Lillard.
to the park in Harlem and find me a point guard.
I forgot. I got
better
Philadelphia
than Ben
haters on the
Simmons.
show. I'm sorry.
It's not Philadelphia. He's got 6.8 points a game. He stinks. He can't shoot.
Gene, you're
Red
He's
shoot
paid
better
too
than
much
him.
money for what he has, and I would not take on that contract.
He got a max
Y'all missing the
contract and
point.
can't shoot.
Hey,
Right? Is Ben Simmons the
I
worst
was-
max contract of all time? Brett?
I was halfway with you, Freddie, until you mentioned Ben Simmons' name. You just lost me when you said Ben Simmons. I was with you for a minute.
but y'all missing what I'm talking about.
I
I'm
know
not
Ben
talking about
Simmons
him
is
as a
missing.
player.
Ben Simmons is
I'm
missing.
not talking about him as a player.
Just
They
saying,
tried
get
giving him away, Freddie. No one wanted him.
Oh man.
They tried giving
But
him
that's
away.
fine. But guess what? Now you have 2 more months of the season to re-improve yourself. He looked good the other day. The first half he played, he looked good. If he can go up, he can get screens a couple weeks of him showing us that he can go back to the All-Star version of Simmons, which I think he can now without the distraction around him. Hey, they was in a toxic situation. And by the way, I forgot to mention Joe Harris, by the way.
Don't be adding Joe Harris like that's somebody we need to talk about. Brett, can you do me a favor? Winners, losers, and is
I'm
Ben
just saying
Simmons
that
the worst
Brooklyn's a
max
dangerous
contract?
team.
Brett, is Ben Simmons the worst max contract in the history of the NBA? And give me your winners and losers.
Worst max contract. I would argue that John Wall got a super max after an Achilles injury. But he is definitely up there as one of the worst. I think the loser isn't necessarily a playoff team. It's one of the teams that did nothing. To me, a big loser is the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls are about to lose Vooch in free agency. They've already admitted they can't find a contract extension with him. So he's probably just going to walk now for nothing. DeMar DeRozan needs a new contract. They'll probably max out a 34-year-old DeMar DeRozan. His decline's probably coming. So his value is probably only going down from here. So you could still get something for Zach LaVine, but I don't know how many teams want the Zach LaVine max. Like, he's a good player, but I definitely question how many teams are going to be willing to trade for him. One of my biggest winners, and this is going to sound kind of homerish, I guess, but I think it's Jay Crowder going from a situation in Phoenix where he clearly didn't want to be, where they wanted nothing to do with each other, and then going to another championship contender in Milwaukee. I think you can count Jay Crowder as one of the biggest winners of the trade deadline for sure.
I completely agree with you. Cool. Biggest winners, biggest losers.
I'm ready now. I can breathe again. So for me, the winner, and this may sound a little homerish, but just follow me, is Thomas Bryant and the Denver Nuggets. And I'll tell you why. He's the perfect fit for what they needed. They needed a guy to come in and be the backup center because you cannot depend on the ghost corpse of DeAndre Jordan to be your backup center. So that was a position of need that needed to be filled. And they got a guy that only had to give up Reed, who doesn't play a lot on the team, and a couple of second round picks, and they got 2 of those 3 back with the cleansing of Nashawn Highland from the team, who all he wanted to do is go out there, shoot, and play a bunch of minutes when you don't play defense. So you took one of the weaknesses that you had, right, and you went and got a guy who, I mean, he's not an all-star, he's not a starting caliber, but he fits the mold of exactly what you need, a hard-working guy. He'll rebound, he'll get you some points, and he can slide in beside Jokic if you get a situation where you need to play a little bit bigger, and he also can be his primary backup and be an upgrade there. So you took a weakness from the number 1 team in the West, and you flipped it into now you have a solid guy to play there. So not an all-star pickup, not a guy that you're going to look at and say, oh, man, now they're an unbeatable team because they got Thomas Bryant, but a need pick, a need field that was there. So that's, for me, the winner, right? And we talk about losers. I think the Charlotte Hornets are losers all season. They have not made any type of valuable moves, pickups, anything to take one of the worst teams in the league, if not the worst, and at least show the fan base that they want to do something to try to be somewhat better. And you have a draft lottery, so it's not like you suck the most and you get the number 1 pick. This isn't the NFL.
Cool, I agree with you. Everybody giving a ton of winners.
Hold on, Jim.
Coach Mark, Freddie, you can't go every time. Just give me a minute. Everyone gives a bunch of winners and giving tons of winners. I got all losers, bro. I got losers at this trade deadline. There's loser on top of loser on top of loser. I won't give them all away because I have like 17 of them. Coach, tell me your winners and losers for this trade deadline.
Well, Brett actually stole my team that I was gonna say as losers of Chicago. They shouldn't have. They ain't no way in hell you can tell me you're good enough to stand pat with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine on the floor. I like Zach LaVine's game. Not a big fan of his game too much, but again, he shoots too many jumpers. He shoots too many jumpers to be that athletic. DeMar DeRozan just gets the ball. Everybody else just stands around. You got Patrick Williams, who you drafted in as a lottery pick. He has not really panned out. The Billy Donovan ain't that much of a great head coach. Vucevic, you can lose him for nothing. They already talking about was trading him. They weren't giving him a contract extension. Then Andre Drummond just sitting on the bench just to sit on the bench. So other than that, I think they're the biggest losers. They should have done something. And then they were talking about trading Zach LaVine with the New York Knicks. So I think the team is up in shambles pretty much, and I don't like the Bulls' chances at all. And a winner for me, I like the Atlanta Hawks. I thought they got better with Sadiq Bey. With the Detroit Pistons. He shoots over 37% from the 3. They also got Garrison Matthews that can shoot the 3 ball too. They did get a rim protector back in Bruno Fernando. So I really like what they really did. And I think they can potential get to the 6th seed if everything break right in the Eastern Conference. I really like the move of Sadiq Bey. He's an underrated player, 3-and-D player in the league, but he just played for Detroit. That's the problem. He just played for Detroit, so he didn't get that much mention.
Marcus, winners and losers, my friend.
Gene, I would like to rebuttal Cool.
You can't, not until we're done.
I got the Phoenix as a loser. No. Anytime Anytime, the way most of your team to go get KD that hasn't really proved anything, in the past 5 years. I'm gonna talk you up as a loser because I don't see Booker staying healthy the rest of the season. I don't see Kevin Durant really staying healthy the rest of the season. And you definitely can't depend on Chris Paul in the playoffs. So they won my LA, the Clippers. They're another loser. Reggie Jackson, Luke Kennard trading for Aaron Gordon. That didn't make no sense to me. If you want to send John Wall back to Houston, I get it. All the moves that LA made doesn't really benefit their team in a sense. I'm going to give you another loser, which would be my Sixers. I don't think they did much other than give away Thibault, which I thought was a bad move because you still need a guy like him for the Tatums and the Browns in the West. So we didn't really do nothing special to be like, okay, even though I still pick us to win a championship. And the biggest winners, I'm going to say out of all this is the Brooklyn Nets because they got rid of Kyrie and Durant. So that's how I look at it.
Freddie, go ahead. Before I give my losers, if you want to rebuttal, cool.
It's really not a rebuttal. I just want to give a statement to Cool is that I hope your Denver Nuggets shorten the Nikola Jokic because Thomas Bryant want to play minutes. And I don't see how he's going to get big minutes on a team where you have one of the best big men down there in Nikola Jokic. I look at the Lakers say, you know what, you want minutes? We're going to send you somewhere where you're not going to get 30 minutes a night.
Okay, so I got a bunch for y'all. There's one winner I'm going to give, and y'all didn't want to give him, and that's okay. I'm going to do that for you. I'll do the honors for you. Kevin Durant's a winner. He's going to walk into a winning situation, and I think that the fact that the Phoenix Suns did not have to give up any of their stars.
I'm sorry, you said KD's a winner?
Yeah, in this situation, he is. The Phoenix Suns did not have to
Y'all
give
have
up
a
any.
good night.
You can roll. You won't be making no sense anyway. Your internet don't be working.
Gene, just because he just ride a bus don't make you a winner. He chasing winner. That's it, brother. That's all.
That's fair. I think that Kevin Durant's a winner for going to Phoenix and the situation. You want to talk about losers? Let's talk about losers. The Chicago Bulls are an obvious loser. The Miami Heat are a loser. The Philadelphia 76ers are losers this trade deadlines. When you don't do shit, you're a loser, and especially in that playoff run. I got more for you. Can y'all do me a favor and tell me the starting point guard for the Los Angeles Clippers?
They don't have a point guard.
Not one. Not one of them.
They point guard is Terrence Mann, basically. Terrence Mann and Paul George. That's a point guard.
And that's a problem. You have to have somebody that runs the point for you in the NBA. And the biggest loser of this trade deadline, and there's no doubt about it. And when I say his name, you're all going to be like, damn, you're right. Do y'all remember John Wall being a signing for the Los Angeles Clippers and him wanting to get out of Houston because they didn't want to win? Where did he get traded to? Now,
the Clippers and back to the Rockets.
He went back to the Rockets.
Yeah, they probably just gonna buy him out.
Yeah, we'll buy him out.
But the point of the matter is, John Wall, who was just begging to get away from the Houston Rockets and got traded to the Clippers, is already being disposed because the man is way past his prime, and you'll never see John Wall be the old John Wall ever again. So he's the biggest loser of this trade deadline, in my opinion.
Don't forget the Atlanta Hawks and John Collins.
Yeah, I don't think that they're a loser because I agree with what Coach said. I think them adding Sadiq Bey is actually a winning move. John Collins needs to be moved, and I agree with you. But if you're asking if the Atlanta Hawks are better today than they were yesterday, I have to say yes, which means in turn they can't be a loser. To me,
well, they can be both. They can win on one side and become better, but you're still a loser because a move you've been trying to make for a long time, you still haven't had an opportunity to make.
So and another loser, Ben Simmons.
Well, that's wherever that's whenever. Like it's like he would be perfect to go to the Hornets because that would be just a marriage of losers. So yeah. I I got to jump off. My fault, y'all, but I got something come up. I got to jump off. But I appreciate y'all. And Freddie, it's just great to have you, man, because the off the wall takes are great sometimes. Like it's great TV.
Hey,
I was
cool.
gonna say
You
something.
better find 30 minutes for Thomas Bryant.
We have to find 30 minutes, man. Just don't push him behind 7 people when he's been your best hustle player, your best post player for most of the year, the most consistent. You find a minute, so you appreciate the fact that you got
It's
a guy to
Anthony
go there
Davis,
that works.
baby.
All I need
When
out
he
of y'all
plays.
now,
Anthony
real quick,
Davis, baby.
cool.
When
Before
he
you go,
plays.
Before you go, I'm just getting there to everybody. All I need is 2 teams. Nobody give me any other things besides 2 teams. Give me your finals prediction post trade deadline. Cool. I know you got to go. Give it to me.
I ain't changed since the beginning of the season. Denver Nuggets and Milwaukee Bucks.
Freddie, give me your finals prediction post trade deadline.
Denver Nuggets and the Milwaukee Bucks.
Brett, give me your post trade deadline finals.
2021 rematch, Milwaukee Phoenix.
Coach Dante.
I'm gonna go. I don't trust Phoenix, so I'm gonna go with Denver, and I'm gonna go with Boston.
Marcus the Magic.
I'm going Philly and Dallas.
I can't even be a homer here. I would love to be a homer here. I would not. I would love to pick the 76ers. I picked them before the season started. I can't do it. I'm going Boston, Phoenix, Jason Tatum versus KD. I think it'll be a very fun series. I predict the Phoenix Suns will be hosting the trophy at the end of the season. All right.
This guy
Cool. Take care, my friend.
And go with Boston out of all people. I respect you more if you said.
I can't lie, bro. I
I
hate.
respect you more if you said Milwaukee.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Let me just say this real quick. Let me just say this real quick, though, for Freddie and Marcus. You say that Brooklyn was a winner at the deadline. You can't really be a winner when you're trading away a top 3 player in the league, or top 5 at worst. I do think that they got a fantastic callback for Kevin Durant. I think they made the best out of a bad situation. Like, he wanted to go to Phoenix. They respected his wish, and they got the best haul that they possibly could have out of the Phoenix Suns. So they maintained a good relationship with KD, which in turn is good for their relationship with other players in the league. But I don't think you can call them winners, because when you're moving a top 5 player in the league and you go from contender to second round exit at best, and that's being generous, nah, I'm sorry, you can't be a winner there.
Only thing I would say to that is that
Can we do dark
for me,
horse?
he still had 3 to 4 years left on his contract, and the fact that he got traded out of there is a problem to me. Outside of that, you can take it how you want it, but if he was such a great top 10, top 3 player, however, you'll stick with a team that's still damn good, even after you got rid of the so-called top 2 players. And they still.
But you can't control if the team trades you or not. You can't really control that. Not this year, Kevin Durant didn't ask for a trade. That was last year when he actually asked out. But you can't control it.
He requested a trade.
He requested a trade.
No, coach. No, he requested a trade there. He requested
No, he requested. That was last year. He requested a trade.
No, he requested a trade.
No, this year. No.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. He went private. He didn't do it.
But like again, after he requested, did you hear any complaint? No more. When they say they weren't trading him, you didn't hear complaints out of him. All you heard was Kyrie Irving complaining throughout the whole year. All you heard was Kyrie Irving. Kevin Durant, even though he realized he wasn't going to get traded.
I ain't hear Kyrie complain. I'm gonna give him that.
Coach, listen, no, coach. This is the guy in Kevin Durant who, when things get hard, he wants to run. Kevin Durant, he's the biggest snake in the NBA.
Freddie's internet's
And
not
you
even
didn't
letting him say what
want
he
to
needs
be a
to say.
leader. You just
But
wanted
that's
him.
when he
You
can't
didn't
be
want to say
spoken.
nothing. So you know what? KD suffer.
All right, again, Kyrie Irving. If James Harden give up on the team, Kyrie Irving study complaining, not playing. You really blaming that on Kevin Durant for another person just quitting on the team? You really gonna blame that on Kevin Durant and the guy that's trying to
he knew
and playing? You can't blame that on him. You can't blame that on Kyrie Irving because of what you can't blame that on Kevin Durant because of Kyrie Irving.
Yes, I can, Coach. He
But you
knew who Kyrie
all the guys
was
went out
before he
there
left
to do
Steph
is
Curry.
play basketball. All the guys went out there and did was play basketball. You can't control what another man do. You can't control that.
He knew who Kyrie left Steph Curry. Coach, he knew who Kyrie Irving was before he left Steph Curry. Yes, I can.
And I agree with you that he shouldn't have left Golden State. I agree with you on that. He shouldn't have left Golden State. But now we're talking about in Brooklyn when Kyrie Irving was out. When Kyrie Irving was study complaining, and when he was out and going to parties and stuff, and when James Harden was quitting on the team, you can't blame that on Kevin Durant. Because two people decided to give up. You can't blame that on him.
You're going to repeat it again, Coach, Freddie. We heard you 5 times, bro. Stop interrupting everybody. Look, Kyrie Irving.
Coach, you're wrong. This is the 3rd time.
Okay. He didn't quit on Golden State. He played his contract out and signed his free agent deal with Brooklyn. He went there. He won 2 championships. He didn't quit on Golden State. He played his contract out and signed his contract with Kyrie Irving because they're best friends off the basketball court. Kyrie Irving did not live up to that. Yes, it was a mistake of character to go play with his best friend who didn't want to go play basketball. They got James Harden in there. He quit on the team also.
And he didn't want to be there. James Harden didn't want to be there from the start because he wanted to be in Philly. The Rockets just didn't trade him to Philly. His first option when he got traded to Philly, the first thing he said, I wanted to be here. I didn't want to be in Brooklyn. That's just saying I never wanted to be in Brooklyn. He never wanted to be in Brooklyn.
Coach, you're spitting facts, brother. You are spitting.
Not to mention, KD is 34 years old. I think he was absolutely in the right to request a trade. You're a 34-year-old superstar. Your championship window with the Nets is shut. A core with Ben Simmons. Ask Gene where that gets you. Why would you want to stay? Don't waste
Kyrie Irving not playing. He's not playing. James Harden quit. Why would I want to stay?
Right, like don't waste the rest of your good years in Brooklyn, where you're not going to win anything. Go make a better future for yourself.
Okay, so
all I'm saying to that point is he still had, regardless, if he didn't ask for a trade, and technically they didn't have to trade him, he still has 3 to 4 years left on his contract. So kudos to Brooklyn for trading him. But as far as the rest of it goes, that's on KD, his own man. He actually been traded in the beginning of the season, and it just so happened that they Kyrie, so Kyrie actually be going. Now Kevin Durant wants to be going, even though I still think Brooklyn's team, as constructed, fits perfectly for KD. But hey, if that's what he wanted to do, he got his trade that he wanted. He went to the team that he wanted. All power to him.
All right. Well, we got to move on. Freddie did ask for a dark horse final, so I'm going to allow everyone to give 2 teams that they didn't put in their NBA finals as their dark horse finals. So let's give us a 2-team dark horse finals. We'll go reverse order. Coach Dante, start us off. Dark horse finals.
Obviously, dark horse finals in the West is the Phoenix Suns if they're healthy. For me, I got Denver making actual finals, but dark horse is actually the Phoenix Suns if they are healthy. Now in the Eastern Conference, I'm going to go with Milwaukee. I'm going to take Milwaukee for a dark horse for Eastern Conference. I got Boston actually making the finals.
I got it. Respect it. That's your backup plan. I get it. Brett.
All right, I'm gonna try to think of some good ones. I think your dark horse out of the West to me is pretty easy. I think it's the Pelicans. Healthy, I think they can make a finals run. They got the talent. They just need to stay healthy. Out of the East, I'm gonna throw a little curveball in here. Give me the Cleveland Cavaliers. They got scoring. They got size on the interior. The only problem with them is they have a weakness at small forward, but you can scheme around that. So I'm going to go with the real dark horse, and I'm going to go with the Cleveland Cavaliers.
That's a true dark horse finals right there. You went with Cleveland versus New Orleans, bro. If that happens, clip that shit. Give Brett his roses. Marcus, the Magic. Give me your dark horse finals.
I'm going with the Lakers and New York.
You said the Lakers?
Said dark horse.
Oh,
You can't get no darker than that.
that's a dark horse if I've ever heard one.
And I'm going with the Knicks.
I would listen. The Knicks ain't gonna make it, but the Knicks got a better shot than the Lakers. I think we'd all love to see the Lakers Knicks finals just to watch that tragedy.
I do like the Josh Hart move, though. I do like the Josh Hart move. I do
Big
like it.
facts. Freddie, give me your dark horse finals.
I'm going old school. I'm going Boston, and I'm going Lakers. Rivalry, purple and gold against Boston. Just saying. You talk about drama. You talk about ratings. You talk about news. That matchup be right there. Be legendary.
My man went with the Lakers. Come on, man. Listen, I'm gonna give you a dark horse finals based off of where they're.
Hey, I believe Bron about to go on a historic run, Gene.
All right, we're gonna talk about Brown in a second. I know you can't wait to talk about Brown, so we're gonna talk about him in a second. But I'll give you a dark horse. I'll give you the Philadelphia 76ers, and then I'll follow that up with in the Western Conference, the team that won the championship last year. And low key, if this trade goes through and his physical ends up passing, they end up taking him. They got the biggest dog back in Gary Payton 3. I'll take the Golden State Warriors. They're still a great roster. That roster is still constructed incredibly. They got depth everywhere. We'll see what happens with Gary Payton 3, but we'll see. I like the Golden State Warriors and the 76ers as a dark horse. But the next thing we're going to talk about is the LeBron James scoring record has been broken. It was broken this week. We got to give it credit. We got to give it credit where credit's due. I'm going to take this opportunity without Freddie interrupting me because he's not in the stream right now, of absolutely using this moment to trash Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis sat on that bench like a baby, didn't stand up. Listen, as a basketball fan, I tuned in to watch a historic moment happen. NBA player in the league, almost every one of them was congratulating him and talking about it and standing. Every player on the Thunder, every other player on the Lakers was standing up for the moment. His own teammate, his teammate from Clutch Sports. I love you, man. I love you. I just want to let you know I love you. That man was sitting on the bench, sulking, looking like a damn hater, as LeBron James broke the greatest record in the NBA. So LeBron James breaks the record. I think it's an incredible accomplishment. The question I'm going to ask you is, do you think this scoring record is, and the funny part of this, and the question I'm going to follow up with is, does this put him as your GOAT? Was he already your GOAT? Or has he still not passed your GOAT? Marcus, what you thinking?
Okay, so first of all, the scoring record, it's probably going to take another 40 to 50 years for it to be broken. And that's assuming they allow high school players to come back into the league, instead of going to college for 1 year. And secondly, I have everybody that's, my age or yours, anybody that's born much in 84 or from the 80s till now, you have the luxury of seeing Michael Jordan play, and you have the luxury of watching LeBron play. By me watching Jordan first, Jordan is my GOAT, just the greatest player to me. If you want to say all time, however you want to take that, but for me, and my generation wise, is Jordan. And then I'll follow that up with LeBron. I'm not going by rings. I can care less about that because it's a team sport. You know what I'm saying? And LeBron to get to 10, and win 4 is still a good accomplishment. So I'm not going by the rings. But just because I had the luxury of watching Jordan play first, I'm going to stick with Jordan.
I'm
not taking nothing away from none of their greatness. Neither one.
They're both absolutely great NBA players. I've been waiting to try to find someone, right? Like, I want to find someone whose opinion changed based off this scoring record. because I feel like that so many people are stuck in their ways and they don't want to change. They don't want to say that their opinion changed or that this person passed this person. Brett, has your opinion changed? Who is the greatest basketball player of all time?
When it comes to that, I feel like if you didn't have LeBron as your number one before he broke the scoring record, I really don't think it changes anything. I had Michael Jordan at number one before before LeBron broke the scoring record, so I still had him at number one due to the individual dominance and him racking up more accolades than anybody in history in about the span of 15 seasons, 13 since all of them came in the Bulls years. So, no, I still have Michael, but LeBron will always be, he's a lock for number two. But if you want to go LeBron at one, I don't have a problem with that. Or even if you want to go 1A, 1B, like however you want to do it, I don't got a problem with it because they're both all-around phenomenal players. I think LeBron is the greatest all-around player of all time. I just think Jordan's the most dominant.
Okay, Coach Dante.
Mine's still Jordan. LeBron right behind him at number two.
So before Freddie goes, because I kind of know where he's going, and this is about to pop off. All right. I will tell you that my opinion's changed, right? My opinion has changed. It's not, I haven't changed who I think the greatest of all time is. I still think that's Michael Jordan. But at this point, with the scoring record, I will entertain someone else saying it be LeBron James. I understand the 1A to 1B. LeBron James has solidified himself in the category of Michael Jordan, which I didn't think he was in before breaking the scoring record. The argument to me comes from this. If you want to argue longevity, consistency over a long period of time, all around basketball game, LeBron James is there. But at pure peak, at pure dominance, the last 6 full seasons that Michael Jordan played in the NBA for the Chicago Bulls, he won the NBA championship. That's insanity to me. He has 10 scoring titles. He was an all-defensive player and on the all-NBA defensive first team 6 times. Michael Jordan was dominant beyond belief. I think he's still the greatest of all time, but I will entertain and understand the argument against it. Now, Freddie, it looks like you have a panel that's 4-0 right now. Did it change your opinion? Who is the greatest basketball player of all time?
Listen here, y'all. LeBron James came into the league with a lot of pressure on his back. Had a lot of weight on his shoulders. Had a lot of expectations. They called him the chosen one, King James. And if we're being honest, he is over, and I mean over, exceeded expectations. I mean, to the point where he's not. I mean, it's just crazy. He's a winner. He's a 4-time champion. He's a Finals MVP. He's an MVP of this league. NBA Rookie of the Year. 6-time All-Star. Even longer than that now. What was it? 20-year All-Star now? Something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are you talking about?
19.
Yeah, it's 20-year All-Star. I mean, he's dominated ever since he came in the league. I'm just going to tell you this right here. Like, listen, man, you can say whatever you want to say, but the dude, all he do is win. Athlete of the Year. He's on the 75th anniversary team. He's number 4 on the all-time assist lead. Not just the all-time score, on the assist list. Just imagine that we've seen all-time great point guards. All-time great point guards in the league.
That's the first thing you said.
Huh?
The first thing you said. That's the first thing you said that Michael Jordan didn't do. You were reading off lists of accomplishments, and every other thing that you said, Michael Jordan did it and did it
Did I
more.
interrupt you when you were going, Gene?
No, sir.
I'm painting a story. I want you to listen. So I mean, listen. I'm not going into the championship thing because that's a team accomplishment. But we talk about individual accomplishments. Oh, you can look like that all you want, but you know I'm telling the truth. LeBron James is not only the GOAT. He's not only the GOAT. He's the GOAT that can't be touched because he's on the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. It's something that have not been touched in 40 years. Gene, how old are you?
36. 37.
You wasn't even born. How old are you?
I'm 38, so he was just touching it. Kareem was just.
You wasn't. Nobody on this panel was alive to see it. But a kid from Akron, Ohio, a guy that they said can't shoot the ball like Mike, a guy that they said that don't have a signature shot like Kareem, a guy that they said that can't ball like Kobe, came in the league that outdid all of those guys. He has to be number one. He's a better teammate than Jordan. He's a better leader than Jordan. He's a better passer in the ball than Jordan. He's a better rebounder than Jordan. He's just only two things of Michael Jordan that you can say that he has over LeBron. Only two things. He's a better defender in equal both primes. Jordan, you can say he's a better scorer. But at the end of the day, other than that, LeBron does everything else better than Michael Jordan. He's a better person off the court than Jordan. He does it all better than Jordan. At this time, I don't know why people stuck in their mind to think that Jordan can't be passed. He passed, and honestly, he was passed on Tuesday.
Now I'm just.
I don't know what Marcus was about to say. He froze up. But Freddie, I'll give you a rebuttal to that. So what you're telling me is in the game of basketball, he puts the ball in the basket better and stops the ball from going in the basket better. That's what you're saying Michael Jordan does in the game of basketball? Okay, let me just add on to that, right? So he's a better scorer. He's a better defender. He also blocked more shots. That was accurate. He also won more championships in less years. And if you want to give me the championships or a team accomplishment, it's a team accomplishment. That's what LeBron losers say when LeBron James can't stuck into a corner. They're stuck into a corner because
I didn't know Mike Jordan was only one played in the championships.
So let me ask you a question. Do you have Bill Russell as a top 10 player of all time? Be careful how you answer that. Why? Tell me why. Without saying that he won the most championships. Because in reality, he averaged 17 points a game. Did he dominate?
Bro.
Or did his team dominate? Was it a team accomplishment? Because Bill Russell averaged 17 points a game.
At that time, he dominated.
Wilt Chamberlain abused that man.
So with Bill Russell, you can say he dominated on the defensive side. Your biggest indicator of that is before he came into the league, that Celtics team was the worst defense in the league. After he came into the league, they had 5 of the greatest 25 defensive seasons ever. In the season that Wilt scored 51 against against Russell, he only scored, he scored 37, which, it's still a lot of points, but he definitely made an impact. And when Wilt, and then when Wilt was scoring
for years.
I'd say when Wilt was scoring 51 points a game, that team was 2 points ahead of the league on offense. So Bill Russell didn't really need to do that much besides slow down Wilt Chamberlain in order to help lead to wins. I agree. He wasn't the best offensive weapon on that team, but I would definitely say he's up there just based on his all-time great impact on defense.
See how that works? See how defense matters? Defense matters in the NBA. And Michael Jordan was better at stopping the basketball from going in the hoop, and he was better at putting the basketball in the hoop, which are the two biggest fundamentals of playing team basketball. Coach, any rebuttal to Freddie's long tirade?
Also, again, in LeBron James' era, you have guys that are great players and won championships. In Michael Jordan era, how many guys that failed to win a championship because of him? Charles Barkley failed to win a championship because of him. Reggie Miller failed because of Michael Jordan. Hakeem Olajuwon could have been on that list if it wasn't for Michael Jordan. If Gary Payton didn't go to the Miami Heat and win a championship late in his career, he would have that would have been on the list. Karl Malone and John Stockton, the greatest point guard forward, 2 times. He stopped them from 2 times. I don't want to hear that they were old. They won 67 games back to back. And now we want to use the narrative they were old. They were old all of a sudden. People forgot that Clyde Drexler was the second best shooting guard in the era. But why is he overlooked? Because of Michael Jordan. That was a very solid Blazers team that made the NBA Finals with Terry Porter, Duckworth. They were all really good. So at the end of the day, Michael Jordan had it really tough. He was the first player to get a rule after him, a Jordan rule, right after him. And he had to build up his body just to take that punishment. Going in the paint. It was no 3 seconds. It wasn't no illegal defensive 3 seconds. Hand checking was definitely allowed. And I say that the narrative is, I hate when people use them. Yes, Michael Jordan needed Pippen. They both needed each other. But also, let's not act like, I don't like using this. I don't like using it because I think LeBron is great. Let's not act like LeBron didn't need 2 of the top 5 players at their own position, Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, just to win a championship. Let's not act like he didn't need Anthony Davis, who he asked for and they got to win a championship. Let's not act like he didn't have Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, who he asked for to win a championship. Michael Jordan had, Dennis Rodman, one of the greatest defenders of all time, Scottie Pippen, and the rest of them were just fit-in players, role players that fit around perfectly. So at the end of the day, when you add all that up, man, like I say, Michael Jordan stopped legends from winning championships, and people in this era was able to win a championship against LeBron James and with LeBron James in this era. None of the greats that
you're talking about teams. Coach, you're talking about teams. Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls stopped him. Talking about teams. So I don't want to hear nothing about no team. If it's a team accomplishment, I don't want to hear it, brother. I don't. Championship is a team thing, it's not individual. But when we talking about I've seen
same thing with LeBron, not individual. Same thing with LeBron, not individual. Same thing with LeBron.
You're
same
right.
thing goes.
You're right.
Don't call him
You're
weird.
right. You're right. I've seen LeBron as your kid come make teams build super teams. Let's not forget what Michael Jordan was doing before Scottie. He was getting beat in the first round and swept.
Not great teams, though.
He was so bad. He was complaining.
By great defensive teams. By great defensive teams, though.
Let's not forget, he's not even mentally challenged like LeBron. He'll take time off the NBA because he wasn't mentally challenged like LeBron.
Yes, he was. He was that Celtics team that he played against. They were all-time great defense. That was all-time great defense. Detroit was all-time great. Every team that he played against. Yet the Seattle Supersonics, that team, the team that he had to go against that won 67 games with Gary Payton, that was the second best defensive rating in the league. You know who was the first? Chicago Bulls. They were on their 72-9 season at that point. So he played against nothing but great defense when he lost.
They ran that man out the league to play baseball.
He had 63 on.
Ran him out the league to play baseball. That is the most obnoxious, stupid comment.
He left the league. He didn't run out of the league. He
won 3 straight championships and got bored of playing basketball and dominated.
He left the league. Actually, he left the league.
Came back and won 3 more straight championships. You were out of your mind. You know how many games
Chicago Bulls did.
Do you know how many
Chicago Bulls did?
Stop putting it as a team sport. Who's the greatest quarterback of all time, Freddie? Why? Who's the greatest quarterback of all time, Freddie? Why?
And dude, why do we act like?
Why do we act like it only not matter when Freddie is trying to make an argument? Why does championship not matter for players when Freddie's trying to make a damn argument?
Championship don't matter at all. It don't
who's the
matter
greatest
at all,
quarterback of all
Gene.
time,
That's a
Freddie?
team
Who's the
accomplishment.
greatest quarterback of all time, Freddie?
So the argument
go
of
Joe
what did
Montana,
Jordan do
you go
before
Elway.
Scotty is
I mean, there's a lot of great quarterbacks out there.
Who's the
the
greatest
argument of
quarterback of all time, Freddie?
the argument of what did Jordan do before
You
Pippen
go
is
Joe
kind of
Montana.
wild.
I mean,
It's just wild. Like the '85 Celtics with Bird, Parrish, McHale, Dennis Johnson was an underrated point guard of the '80s. Of course, you're going to get dog walked by that team.
if you to go, take care of business. If you to
Up
go,
63
take care of
on
business.
the Gordon.
Turns out you need a team to win a title. I agree.
If
To
you
an
to
extent.
go, take care of- If you to go, take care of the business, Brett.
Here's the thing.
He did
All-
6
hey,
times.
All I'm saying is
The
Jordan isn't even mentally. All I'm saying is Jordan's not even mentally tough like LeBron. LeBron didn't run to go play
No, he's not
baseball.
mentally
He didn't run to
tough.
go
How's he
play
not
football.
here's the take on things that I've always had. It is a team accomplishment. A full team wins it, but you can easily make it an individual accomplishment by talking about what said player did in those finals. What did Michael Jordan do in those finals? 6-time finals MVP. He dominated every series he was in.
That's
So yes, it is a full team accomplishment. I
That's
agree with
fine.
that part. But at the same time, you can't argue you can use rings because in all 6 finals, it was MJ's team. He was the alpha, and that's proven by them finals MVPs.
no
Stats and accolades and facts back that up.
He needed one of the best defensive players ever. He also
Michael
needed
Jordan-
all-time
Michael
great
Jordan
coach.
has
And the competition do matter.
Michael Jordan has 9 defensive.
Competition do
9
matter.
defensive.
You
That's
played
more than,
against Larry
Scottie
Bird, who
Pippen.
had a bad back. You played against
And
a Laker
LeBron
team
needed
with
Wade,
Kareem
Spoelstra, and Bosch. What's your point?
Freddie,
competition.
Freddie, Scottie Pippen
only
had a bad back
competition
in Game 6. Scottie Pippen had a bad back all through the Utah series. Michael Jordan played through a flu in Game 5. And was able to close it out. And Scottie Pippen played throughout the whole series with a bad back and wasn't that much of effective.
Yo,
And Michael
Freddie is
Jordan
the
took
most
over.
disrespectful
It
person
wasn't
I've
the
ever
first
heard talk about
coach,
Michael Jordan in my life.
That's the
I've never
biggest
heard
difference
someone-
sports shit. That was
Like
not
we
the
all sat here and said LeBron James is 100% in that GOAT status. He's top 2, and all Freddie has done is discredit Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's never seen a Game 7 in the finals. He's absolutely dominated every team he's played. He's seen one Game 7 in the
You want me
entire.
to give Jordan credit? Okay, I'm about to give him
his
credit
entire
right now.
playoff career. He has only seen one Game 7 in his entire playoff career, and that was versus Reggie Miller and the
In the
Indiana
Indiana Pacers.
Michael Jordan dominated the NBA like it's never been dominated before, Freddie. And if you want to make up all these put together stats, he was ran out of the league. The last 6 seasons, he played a full season for the Chicago Bulls. He won a title. LeBron James ran to Miami to play with Wade and Bosch and still didn't win versus the Dallas Mavericks. He choked. And then after he choked versus the Dallas Mavericks, he went against a young Thunder team and got his first championship, and then followed it up with his second championship with the biggest bailout three-pointer after he missed the game-tying three-pointer, after he missed the shot down the stretch. Chris Bosh got a ridiculous rebound, and Ray Allen made the biggest bailout three-pointer in the history of the NBA, because when the game was on the line, Michael hit the
Just
shot.
like Steve Kerr did to save Jordan, right? Just like Steve Kerr did to save Jordan, correct?
He made the right play,
Just
though.
like how
He made the
Steve
right
Kerr
play
did
because he
save
actually
Jordan.
got doubled. He got doubled on that play. And Steve Kerr was happy to be
Just like
wide.
what Jordan,
He made the right
Steve Kerr
play.
saved Jordan, correct? Right?
Nah, he didn't say Jordan. I believe Jordan made the
Can I
right
ask you a
play.
question? Do you know what the
Steve
score
Kerr
was
saved
in that
Jordan?
game? Freddie, do you know what the score was in that game?
Gee, just like how Steve Kerr saved Jordan, correct?
He didn't
Like how he
save him.
bailed him out, correct?
He didn't bail him out. Do you know what the score was in that game, Freddie? That was a game winner. That wasn't a game tire. Game was tied. He wouldn't have lost if the shot didn't go
Keeps
down.
the shot, they lose.
Nope.
I would let me add this too. What did Jordan do before
Yeah.
Pippen only won the MVP and DPOI in the same year? Dropped 63 on the Celtics in
That's
the
true.
Garden.
That's cute, but he was getting
Larry-
swept in
That was
the
for the
playoffs.
Larry
broken
Bird
foot.
got God at the Garden,
Broken foot.
according to him.
The 63 was with a broken foot. At that, he had a broken foot at that time.
But hold on. I need to show Jordan some love because Gene said I'm a Jordan head. Let me give him love. I'm gonna give y'all my top 5. He at least makes the top 10 on my list. LeBron's number 1, Kobe's number 2, Kareem's number 3, Magic's number 4, and MJ's number 5. He's at least my top 5. I mean, how much love can I show a guy? I'm just being honest.
So Freddie is on a show, and his top 4 players all played for the Lakers, and there's no bias. So he is 100% a credible person. Can I ask you a question real quick, Freddie? How old are you?
25.
25 years old. So what that means is 25 years ago was 1998. You were just a thought in the mind of your mama when Michael Jordan was dominating the NBA. You're like the Dallas Cowboys, man. You literally like the Dallas Cowboys. You ain't seen shit.
I watched it. It's all on YouTube.
You did not watch any of his
That's why they
seasons.
got YouTube, Gene. I watched it. I watched it. If we being honest, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar can go down as the GOAT. He just as amount of accomplishment as MJ do.
By the way,
Kobe
you want
Bean
to talk
Bryant came in the league.
You want to talk about embarrassment? You just gave your greatest players of all time. You said LeBron, Kobe, Magic. Who'd you say?
I didn't say Magic.
You said Magic. You said LeBron, Kobe. You split Magic 4. Who'd you have 3?
I didn't say Magic.
Yes, you did say Magic.
No, I didn't.
I thought I heard Magic
LeBron.
too.
No, I did not say Magic. I said LeBron. I said Kobe, Kareem, Jordan. Then I said Magic at number 5.
No, you said Magic was 4 and Michael was 5. We all heard you, man. Stop lying to yourself. Guys,
go rewatch the show, bro.
10:40.
Go rewatch the show,
and you'll all prove Freddie wrong as he is. I just wanted to take. We got 10 minutes left. We got to move on. We got the celebrity all game rosters. I'm going to read them out to you, and I will tell you this: I want to give the NBA credit where credit is due. Last year's All-Star game in Cleveland, it was one of the worst celebrity games they've ever put on. There were celebrities that were not celebrities. The biggest highlight athlete in the entire game was Myles Garrett, and then the biggest name in the game was Machine Gun Kelly. Are you out of your freaking mind? Listen to this all-star, star-studded lineup for Team Wade. Nicky Jam, Latin global music artist, okay. Jesser, content creator, okay. Simi Lou, actor, okay. Let's get into the fun ones. DK Metcalf, NFL player. Janelle Monáe. Arik Ogunbowale from the WNBA. 21 Savage. That's just on Team Wade. Let's go to Team Ryan. Team Ryan has Corday, Diamond DeShields, Calvin Johnson, Marcus Minion, The Miz, Albert Pujols. I mean, Ozuna. I gotta give the NBA credit. I just named you 10 people that were more appealing to me to watch. I get to watch Calvin Johnson versus DK Metcalf in the post. Are y'all not excited about that?
I'm excited because I'm seeing my Dallas Wings guard Enrique Gumawale going out there and ball.
She's gonna play against Diamond DeShields.
Hey, Diamond DeShields we just got up too. We just got up too. That's gonna be a great backcourt tandem. But DK Metcalf is gonna be fun to watch him and Calvin Johnson definitely.
I just think that the NBA did a much better job.
I agree.
Yeah, Freddie.
No, I agree. We get to see DK run down the sideline, see if he can use that wide receiver skill. Hey, see if they can throw some full court passes down there and see if down full court passes. This makes easy shots. I mean, hey, it's all about laughs and giggles. And hey, like I said, we got a little WNBA flavor in there. Expect them to dominate the game, so it's gonna be interesting.
Kane Brown's also in the game too. This is a very good celebrity game. They've got much better than what they did last year. The NBA heard us, and they answered. Brett, what do you think about this celebrity game?
It's definitely improvement from last year, that's for sure. Now let's see if they can do my favorite goal. Let's see if they can fix the dunk contest and get some more better names than that. But as for the celebrity game, I have no complaints. I'm really looking forward to seeing DK and Megatron match up.
I will tell you this. The dunk contest will never be the same because what they're doing now is they're getting good dunkers instead of getting NBA stars. And I think I could speak for everybody when I say this. I would much rather watch an NBA star put down a great dunk than watch a guy that I've barely ever heard of put down a dunk. Shaden Sharp, KJ Martin, Mac McClung, Jericho Sims. That's your dunk contest. Any all-star teams between the four of them? I want to see Jordan versus Dominique. I want to see Vince Sanity. Hell, give me Aaron Gordon versus friggin' Dwight Howard. At least they were people that played in the league that were all-stars. Give me Andre Iguodala.
Shit, I'll take Steve Francis. Steve Francis was good in the dunk contest. I'll take him.
It's just embarrassing what the NBA dunk contest has come to. The skills competition and the three-point contest.
We need to see Zion.
Oh, you won't see Zion because Zion don't play on the basketball game. That man's worse than Chase Claypool. You could never find him on the court. That's the new Finding Nemo, Coach Dante.
You ain't lying.
I was so excited to watch Zion play basketball this year, and he started the season off so good. He got an all-star selection because of it. It's an absolute joke. It's a travesty to the NBA that man's name gets him an all-star start. Zion Williamson is starting an all-star game before Ja Morant. In that same draft, when Ja Morant has done nothing but dominate the league and play every game, and Zion Williamson has done nothing but sit on the side of the NBA court. It's a joke. Well, we'll obviously get more time to talk about the NBA All-Star game next week. We'll get a little bit more because All-Star weekend begins. We'll also get a little bit more to talk about with the three-point contest. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, on top of the key? We've really went over a lot of stuff. We had some heated, spirited debates. Any final comments? Freddie, I'll start with the king of Sports Empire Network himself, who's constantly battling his internet.
Yeah, this sucks. Ladies and gentlemen, just stay tuned, man, because I have a feeling these next couple months we're going to have one of the best basketball season down the stretch that we've seen in a while, especially in the West, because we've seen it be so tight all year long. We're going to see a lot of great basketball, even on the East side as well, because like Brad said, Jay Crowder edition of Milwaukee is going to be huge. And we're going to see, who really wants it. Now that we expect Brooklyn to go down, we might see a three-headed fight. Sixers, Bucks, and Boston. It's going to be great. And the Top of the Key podcast every Friday, 8 p.m. Central. It's going to definitely be giving you guys the coverage of what's going on. So stay tuned.
Brett, tell them where we can find you. I appreciate it. Listen, Brett, I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm so glad you got Mike. I love getting you on a podcast. I know you had a little bit of internet trouble earlier, but there's very few people that can drop basketball knowledge like you, man. Tell them where they can find you and how to reach out to you.
Well, I definitely appreciate that, Gene. Thank you. You can find me on Facebook at Brett Gardepy or at Twitter at Brett Gardepy. Otherwise, I do have a podcast on Spotify and Anchor. I've been taking a little break trying to rebrand and do a little bit, but I plan on start recording again next week. That's Gardy3, Gardi3. And you can also message it on, it does have a Facebook page as well if you have any topic ideas or just want to continue the conversation.
And last but not least, Coach Dante. I never ever want to. I always like to end. It's like a grand finale. My man is on every night, every week. He's on a show somewhere all the time. He's doing play-by-plays. He's doing shows. 7,200 seconds. If you haven't checked it out, it's one of the best shows on Sports Empire Network. Coach Dante, tell him where we can find you, because I know there's a million spots.
Hey man, like I say, man, y'all can find me right here on the Empire Sports Network. Man, y'all can find me Friday nights on Jonathan Channel. Y'all gonna be able to find me here, like I said, on the Empire Sports Network, play-by-play guy. Follow me on my YouTube channel as well. Just shout out to Freddie, Gene, and Brett, the whole team. Just give me an opportunity to do streams on the platform, and just be on the show, man. Anytime I can. And like Freddie said, it's gonna be interesting in the basketball season and the end of the basketball season. Who wants it? Who's gonna want it? There's gonna be some great first round matchups, especially in the East. That Miami getting their foot together. That can be a dangerous first round matchup for anybody they go up against. But we got more content coming for you guys, and I appreciate y'all for having me on.
Well, I'm Wire to Wire Gene. Wednesday nights, Wire to Wire. Friday nights, Top of the Key. Monday night, Cheap Seats podcast, all on Sports Empire Network. Pre-game and Pigskin. Thursday night, we wrapping up after the Super Bowl. And the Sunday morning drive with my man Chase from the Sports Empire Network. For Gene, Freddie, Garda 3, and Coach Dante. See, I feel like Brett should trademark that. Garda 3. This is the Sports Empire Network. This is Top of the Key. Thank you for tuning in. We signing out.
You can run, but you can't hide.